The breaking point. The shuttle's landing gear touched down with a heavy thud that echoed through the United Earth Council chambers. Ambassador Maria Ross stepped out, her face drawn and tired. 5 years of negotiations, 5 years of compromises, 5 years of humiliation. All for nothing. Admiral James Walker watched from the observation deck as Ross made her way across the landing pad. The old soldier had seen that look before. It was the look of defeat, but worse. It was the look of someone who knew war was coming. How bad? President David Chen asked as Ross entered the emergency council room. Ross placed a small device on the table. A hologram sprouted from it, showing the sneering face of Lord Kren, Supreme Commander of the Dominion Empire. His 4 eyes glowed with contempt as his translated words filled the room. Humans of Earth, the recording began. Your pathetic attempts at diplomacy have grown tiresome. The Dominion Empire has reached its decision. You have 48 hours to accept these terms. First, abandon all colonies beyond your birth system. Second, dismantle your military fleet. Third, accept your proper place as servants to superior species. Refuse and we will cleanse the galaxy of your infection. The hologram faded. Silence hung heavy in the room. Commander Lisa Park, Earth's intelligence chief, stood up. Mr. President, I need to share something. She activated her own display. We intercepted Dominion fleet communications 3 days ago. They're already mobilizing. 2,000 ships are moving toward our outer colonies. They never intended to accept peace, Ross said quietly. Every meeting, every negotiation, they were just buying time to position their forces. Admiral Walker leaned forward. Our entire fleet is 300 ships. If we spread them across all colonies, we'll be destroyed piecemeal. If we concentrate them, we lose everything else. So we surrender? Asked General Robert Stone from the corner. Become slaves? The Dominion doesn't take slaves, Park corrected. They take servants for 1 generation. The second generation becomes food for their warrior caste. The room erupted in angry voices. President Chen raised his hand for silence. Captain Harris, you've been very quiet. Tom Harris, a man who looked more like a teacher than a special forces commander, stood slowly. Because I've been waiting 5 years to say this. He touched his wrist pad and the room's security shields activated. What I'm about to show you is known to only 20 people in human space. The main screen lit up with technical specifications, ship designs, and weapon platforms that nobody in the room had seen before. Project Phoenix, Harris announced. While Ambassador Ross kept them talking, we've been busy. Every decommissioned mining ship, every failed colony transport, every scrapped military vessel, they're all operational, upgraded, and hidden. Walker's eyes widened. How many? 1,500 combat-ready vessels, plus something special. Harris changed the display. We reverse-engineered their shield technology from a crashed scout ship 3 years ago. Then we improved it. Their weapons are energy-based. Ours are kinetic. Their shields stop energy. Ours stop both. You're talking about deception on a massive scale, Ross said, shaking her head. If they knew, they don't, Park interrupted. They're so convinced of their superiority, they never bothered to verify our fleet numbers. They see what they expect to see, a weak primitive species begging for acceptance. President Chen stood and walked to the window overlooking Earth's blue oceans. If we fight, millions will die. If we surrender, billions will die, just more slowly, Walker responded. At least this way we die standing. The president turned around. I need a vote. All in favor of accepting the Dominion's terms? Not a single hand rose. All in favor of implementing Project Phoenix? Every hand went up, including Ross's. Chen nodded grimly. Then God help us all. Admiral Walker, you have 48 hours to prepare our response. Walker stood and saluted. They want to cleanse the galaxy of human infection? He smiled coldly. They're about to learn that humanity isn't an infection. We're the cure. As the council dispersed, Ross caught Walker's arm. They'll never forgive us for this. Good, Walker replied. Because I'll never forgive them for making us do it. Outside, Earth cities continued their daily routine, unaware that in 48 hours, humanity would remind the galaxy why they were the only predators on a world full of predators. The first strike 47 hours had passed. Admiral Walker stood on the bridge of the USS Phoenix, humanity's true flagship, hidden for 3 years inside a hollowed-out asteroid. Around him, officers worked with quiet efficiency. No panic, no fear, just determination. Dominion fleet has entered Sector 7, Commander Park reported from her intelligence station. 200 ships approaching Colony Theta. They expect no resistance. Walker nodded. Captain Harris, are your ground teams ready? Harris's voice crackled through the comm. 15,000 volunteers stayed behind on the abandoned colonies. They know they won't be coming home. The abandoned colonies, humanity's greatest deception. To the Dominion, they looked like evacuated settlements. In reality, they were bombs. Every building, every street, every underground tunnel was rigged with explosives made from mining charges. Enemy fleet dropping out of hyperspace at Colony Theta, Park announced. On the main screen, massive Dominion battleships appeared, their purple hulls gleaming with confidence. Lord Kren's flagship, a monster 5 kilometers long, took center position. Sir, they're broadcasting, the communications officer said. Lord Kren's image appeared. Pathetic humans. You run like the cowards you are. We claim this world for the Dominion. Soon, Earth itself will... Walker cut the transmission. I've heard enough. Send the signal. 300 light-years away, Tom Harris pressed a single button. Colony Theta exploded. Not just the colony, the entire continent. Antimatter charges buried deep in the planet's crust turned the world into a temporary star. The Dominion fleet, caught in orbit, had no time to raise shields. 70 ships vaporized instantly. Now, Walker commanded. From asteroid fields thought empty, human ships emerged. Not the sleek, beautiful vessels of the Dominion, but ugly, angular things built for one purpose. Killing. Magnetic accelerator cannons. Weapons the Dominion considered primitive. Fired tungsten rods at 10% light speed. The Dominion's energy shields, designed to stop laser weapons, were useless. The rods punched through ships like paper. Lord Kren's voice screamed across all channels. Impossible. Your fleet was destroyed. We confirmed it. Walker opened a channel. You confirmed what we wanted you to see. He turned to his weapons officer. Fire everything. The space around Colony Theta became hell. Human ships, smaller and faster, darted between the massive Dominion vessels. They targeted engines, weapons, life support. Surgical strikes designed to cripple, not destroy. Sir, Colony Beta reporting contact, Park announced. 60 Dominion ships. Colony Gamma, 90 ships incoming. Colony Delta, 40 ships. Walker smiled grimly. Every colony was a trap. Every evacuation was fake. And the Dominion had split their fleet exactly as predicted. On the tactical display, red dots representing Dominion ships began disappearing. At Colony Beta, hidden nuclear mines detonated. At Gamma, a fake surrender signal lured ships into an asteroid field filled with railguns. At Delta, the colonists themselves attacked with mining lasers converted into weapons. Admiral, Park's voice was shocked. We're receiving signals from inside Dominion ships. It's slaves, other species they conquered. They're rising up, inspired by our resistance. The battle for Colony Theta raged for 6 hours. When it ended, the void was filled with debris. Of 200 Dominion ships, 30 escaped. The humans lost 12 vessels, each one ramming a larger enemy ship in final acts of defiance. President Chen's image appeared on the screen. Admiral, the Dominion home fleet is mobilizing. Intelligence suggests 800 ships heading for Earth. Let them come, Walker replied. Phase 2 is ready. Around Mars, hidden beneath the red sand, 200 human ships powered up. In the asteroid belt, weapons platforms activated. On Earth's moon, mass drivers turned toward space. Commander Lisa Park studied her console. Admiral, we're receiving messages from 17 different species. They want to know how we're doing this. Tell them the truth, Walker said. Humans spent 10,000 years killing each other, perfecting war. We learned every dirty trick, every strategy, every way to turn weakness into strength. The Dominion thought our wars made us weak. They were wrong. They made us experts. Captain Harris appeared on screen, his face covered in ash and blood. Colony Theta secure, Admiral. The volunteers. They held the line. Every one of them. Walker closed his eyes briefly. 15,000 heroes whose names would be remembered forever. They didn't die for nothing, Captain. No, sir. They died to prove something. What's that? Harris's eyes burned with cold fire. That humans don't start wars. We finished them. The tactical display updated. 800 Dominion ships were coming. Walker turned to his crew. Send word to all hidden fleets. Operation Prometheus begins in 12 hours. Today the galaxy learns why Earth's children reached the stars not in peace but carrying the biggest stick we could find. The Reckoning, the Dominion Armada arrived at Mars expecting to find a broken defense force. Instead, they found empty space. Lord Kren stood on his flagship's bridge, his four eyes scanning the void. "Where are the human ships?" His second-in-command checked the sensors. "Nothing, Supreme Commander. Mars colony appears abandoned. Earth shows minimal defenses. They're hiding," Kren growled. "Cowards to the end. Full scan, maximum range." That's when Mars opened fire. Not from orbit, from the planet itself. The entire Valles Marineris Canyon, 4,000 kilometers long, revealed itself as humanity's greatest weapon. Mass drivers, each one 20 kilometers long, hurled iron asteroids at the Dominion fleet. "Shields!" Kren screamed, but it was too late. The asteroids, some the size of buildings, smashed through the energy barriers. Ships crumpled like tin cans. Then the human fleet appeared. They rose from Mars's surface where they'd been buried under tons of red sand. They emerged from behind Earth's moon. They dropped stealth fields in the asteroid belt. Not 300 ships. Not even 1,500. 3,000 human vessels filled the void. Admiral Walker's voice echoed across all frequencies. "Lord Kren, you wanted to see Earth's true strength. Here it is. The battle was not a fight, it was a massacre. Human ships worked in perfect coordination, using tactics learned from studying Earth's predators, wolfpack formations, hawk dives, spiderweb traps. But the true surprise came from within the Dominion fleet itself. On 200 Dominion ships, slave species rebelled. The Krell, peaceful engineers forced to maintain Dominion weapons, sabotaged their own vessels. The Vaxi, a warrior race conquered 50 years ago, turned on their masters. Ship after ship fell to internal conflict. "Admiral," Commander Park reported, "we're receiving a priority signal from the Dominion homeworld." On screen appeared not Lord Kren, but Elder Zahn, the Dominion's oldest leader. Behind him the council chamber burned. "Admiral Walker," the Elder spoke, his voice tired, "the Dominion Empire surrenders unconditionally." Walker stood slowly. "Lord Kren? Dead. Killed by his own crew. The slave races are rising everywhere. Our empire is falling." Elder Zahn's four eyes looked desperate. "We beg for mercy." The bridge of the Phoenix went silent. Every human wanted revenge for their dead colonists, their destroyed worlds, their years of humiliation. Part 3. The Reckoning, the Dominion Armada arrived at Mars expecting to find a broken defense force. Instead, they found empty space. Lord Kren stood on his flagship's bridge, his four eyes scanning the void. "Where are the human ships?" His second-in-command checked the sensors. "Nothing, Supreme Commander. Mars colony appears abandoned. Earth shows minimal defenses. They're hiding," Kren growled. "Cowards to the end. Full scan, maximum range." That's when Mars opened fire. Not from orbit, from the planet itself. The entire Valles Marineris Canyon, 4,000 kilometers long, revealed itself as humanity's greatest weapon. Mass drivers, each one 20 kilometers long, hurled iron asteroids at the Dominion fleet. "Shields!" Kren screamed, but it was too late. The asteroids, some the size of buildings, smashed through the energy barriers. Ships crumpled like tin cans. Then the human fleet appeared. They rose from Mars's surface where they'd been buried under tons of red sand. They emerged from behind Earth's moon. They dropped stealth fields in the asteroid belt. Not 300 ships. Not even 1,500. 3,000 human vessels filled the void. Admiral Walker's voice echoed across all frequencies. "Lord Kren, you wanted to see Earth's true strength. Here it is. The battle was not a fight, it was a massacre. Human ships worked in perfect coordination, using tactics learned from studying Earth's predators, wolfpack formations, hawk dives, spiderweb traps. But the true surprise came from within the Dominion fleet itself. On 200 Dominion ships, slave species rebelled. The Krell, peaceful engineers forced to maintain Dominion weapons, sabotaged their own vessels. The Vaxi, a warrior race conquered 50 years ago, turned on their masters. Ship after ship fell to internal conflict. "Admiral," Commander Park reported, "we're receiving a priority signal from the Dominion homeworld." On screen appeared not Lord Kren, but Elder Zahn, the Dominion's oldest leader. Behind him the council chamber burned. "Admiral Walker," the Elder spoke, his voice tired, "the Dominion Empire surrenders unconditionally." Walker stood slowly. "Lord Kren? Dead. Killed by his own crew. The slave races are rising everywhere. Our empire is falling." Elder Zahn's 4 eyes looked desperate. We beg for mercy. The bridge of the Phoenix went silent. Every human wanted revenge for their dead colonists, their destroyed worlds, their years of humiliation. Walker looked at the tactical display. He could end the Dominion now. One word and their homeworld would burn. Elder Zahn, Walker began. Humanity accepts your surrender. Here are our terms. The alien leaned forward, expecting the worst. First, all slave species are freed immediately. Second, the Dominion will dismantle its military, keeping only system defense forces. Third, reparations will be paid to all conquered species. Fourth, war crime trials will be held for those who ordered genocides. That's all? Elder Zahn asked, shocked. No, the most important term. The Dominion will sign the Earth Charter of Galactic Rights. Every sapient species gets a voice. Every world gets protection. Any aggression against a charter member means war with all members. You're not going to destroy us? Walker shook his head. We're not you. We could have built weapons of conquest, but we built weapons of defense. We could enslave you, but we'll free your slaves instead. We could take revenge, but we'll take responsibility. 6 months later, Ambassador Maria Ross stood before the new Galactic Council. Representatives from 43 species filled the chamber, including the Dominion, now just 12 worlds learning to survive without slaves. The humans confused us, a Vaxi representative said. They had the power to conquer, but chose to protect. Why? Ross smiled. Because we learned something in our 10,000 years of war. Victory isn't about destroying your enemy. It's about removing the reason for enemies to exist. Captain Tom Harris, now head of the Galactic Defense Force, added, We tried peace when we were weak, and you saw weakness. We showed strength when forced to fight, and you saw monsters. But we're neither. We're humans, capable of terrible violence and incredible mercy. The choice was always yours, which one you'd face. Lord Kren had been wrong about everything except one thing. Humanity did infect the galaxy. But not with weakness or war. They infected it with hope. In the depths of space, Admiral Walker stood on the Phoenix's observation deck, watching Earth rise over the lunar horizon. Park joined him. Any regrets? She asked. 15,000 colonists died to make this possible, Walker replied. I'll carry that weight forever. They died as heroes. No, Walker corrected. They died as humans. Protecting others, fighting for something bigger than themselves. That's what the galaxy never understood. We don't fight because we hate what's in front of us. We fight because we love what's behind us. The Earth turned slowly, blue and beautiful, surrounded now by ships from dozens of species, all flying the banner of the Earth Charter. Humanity had tried peace, and when the galaxy chose war, they responded not with conquest but with conviction. They proved that the strongest warriors are those who fight not for glory, but for others' freedom. And across the galaxy, in 1,000 languages, the same phrase was whispered with respect and gratitude. We tried peace first. The humans made sure we'll never need war again.